The Pirates of the Cosmos, by Janson Davies. Chapter 1. The Nebula Curse. The stars hung motionless, like ancient witnesses to crimes long forgotten. Captain Blackbeard the Unshaven stood at the helm of the pirate spaceship, the Long John Silver, his one remaining eye fixed on the swirling violet haze of the Depth Nebula. The ship's hull creaked under the strain of proximity, its quantum sails twitching like nervous wings. Somewhere in the distance, a forgotten moon rotated slowly, its surface veiled in bureaucratic fog and rumors of buried treasure. "Report," Blackbeard said, voice low and graveled. First, mate Davy Jones, a gelatinous life form with a fondness for monocles and pessimism, slithered forward. "Crew's stable." Lieutenant Hammerhead attempted a coup, but forgot he's a brain in a jar. No limbs, no leverage. Blackbeard nodded. "Remind him." Again. Davy Jones pulsed in acknowledgement. "Also, the espresso synthesizer is producing foam that tastes like fermented seaweed." Blackbeard didn't respond. He stared into the nebula as if trying to read its intentions. The ship's AI, Flint, spoke from a rusted console. "Transmission from the Galactic Bureau of Piracy. They're requesting our quarterly pillaging report." "Tell them we're cursed," Blackbeard said. "I did." They sent a form. Blackbeard turned to face his crew, a telepathic cactus named Thorn, a cybernetic parrot with a gambling problem, and a sentient cloud of sarcasm named Misty. They watched him in silence, waiting for direction. "The Vault of Treasure Island," Flint said. "That's where this started. That's where it ends." Misty drifted forward. "You think Admiral Hook's treasure is real?" "I think curses don't write riddles in our cargo manifest unless they're trying to be found." The crew said nothing. The nebula shimmered, indifferent. Blackbeard turned back to the helm. "Prepare the ship." "We sail at dusk." There was no dusk in space, but the crew understood. The Long John Silver groaned, its engines stirring. Somewhere deep in its belly, the curse waited. Chapter 2. The Vault of Treasure Island. The descent was slow. The Long John Silver hovered above the surface of Glorfield Prime, its landing struts groaning as they extended into the moss-covered terrain. The vault lay beneath a collapsed observatory, once a temple to stellar cartography, now a ruin swallowed by vines and silence. Captain Blackbeard stepped onto the soil first. It was damp, faintly bioluminescent, and smelled of forgotten treaties. Behind him, Davy Jones oozed forward, scanning the perimeter with a handheld relic that beeped only when it was confused. "This place was sealed after the Admiral vanished," Davy Jones said. "Records say he left behind a map encoded in riddles. And a warning." Blackbeard didn't ask what kind. The crew followed in staggered formation. Thorn the cactus floated slightly above the ground, his spines twitching with ambient tension. Misty drifted near the rear, her vaporous form flickering with quiet sarcasm. The parrot, whose name was technically a series of encrypted coordinates, perched on Blackbeard's shoulder and muttered odds. 37% chance of treasure, it said. 62% chance of existential dread. Blackbeard ignored it. They reached the entrance, a circular hatch embedded in the earth, its surface etched with symbols from a dozen extinct languages. Flint, patched into the ship's portable interface, translated. "Only the cursed may enter, only the forgotten may leave." Davy Jones frowned. "That's not encouraging." Blackbeard placed his hand on the hatch. It pulsed once, then opened with a sigh. Inside, the vault was colder than expected. The walls were lined with data tablets, ceremonial masks, and fragments of star charts. A low hum filled the air like a choir rehearsing in reverse. They moved slowly, past statues of alien saints and bureaucrats, past murals depicting Admiral Hook's final voyage. his ship swallowed by a cosmic storm. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal. Upon it, a cube hovered, rotating gently. It glowed with soft amber light. Blackbeard approached. The cube spoke. "Welcome, cursed ones. You seek what was buried, but first you must remember what was lost." The crew stood in silence. Then the vault shifted, the walls retracted, the floor began to fall away, and the test began. Chapter 3. Systems Test. The floor didn't fall away, it rotated. A slow, grinding shift revealed a spiral staircase descending into a lower chamber, lit by flickering panels and the occasional burst of static. The crew followed Blackbeard down, boots and appendages echoing against metal steps worn by time and neglect. The chamber below was colder, not sacred, just abandoned. A console blinked to life as they entered, its interface a blend of outdated tech and alien bureaucracy. A voice, synthetic and clipped, greeted them. "Welcome to Vault Subsection 8A. Please confirm your designation, pirate, scavenger, or auditor." Blackbeard stepped forward. "Pirate?" he said proudly. The console paused. "Acknowledged. Initiating systems test." Panels slid open across the walls. Mechanical arms unfolded, each holding a different object. A rusted star map, a broken compass, a sealed container marked "Do Not Open," and a datapad displaying a spreadsheet with missing cells. Davy Jones frowned. "Is this a puzzle?" "No," Blackbeard said. "It's a test of patience." The voice continued. "You must complete 3 tasks to proceed: inventory reconciliation, spatial navigation, and containment protocol." Thorn hovered toward the spreadsheet. "I'll handle the numbers." Misty drifted toward the compass. "I'll chart the route, assuming this thing still points somewhere." Blackbeard approached the sealed container. "I'll deal with whatever's inside." The crew worked in silence. Thorn's spines tapped the datapad, filling in gaps with estimates and sarcasm. Misty rotated the compass, aligning it with the vault's internal magnetic field. Blackbeard examined the container, noting the pressure seals and the faint hum of something alive or recently deceased. After an hour, the console spoke again. "Tasks complete. Proceed to next chamber." A door slid open. Beyond it, a corridor stretched into darkness, lined with crates, cables, and the occasional flicker of movement. Blackbeard turned to his crew. "Stay sharp. This place isn't sacred, it's operational." They moved forward, weapons ready, humor muted. The vault was awake. Chapter 4. The Interruption. The corridor narrowed. Crates lined the walls, marked with faded insignias from defunct empires and outdated trade routes. The air was dry, tinged with ozone and the faint scent of coolant. Blackbeard moved ahead, scanning for motion. The others followed, weapons drawn but quiet. They weren't alone. A flicker of movement registered on Thorn's sensors. A shadow passed across the far wall, too fast for a malfunction, too deliberate for a glitch. "Contact," Thorn said. Blackbeard raised a hand. The crew stopped. From the far end of the corridor, a group emerged. 4 figures, armored in scavenged plating and marked with the sigil of the Black Drift. A pirate faction known for precision raids and minimal conversation. Their leader, a tall insectoid with mirrored lenses and a voice like static, stepped forward. "Captain Blackbeard," it said. "You're late." Blackbeard didn't flinch. "Didn't know we were expected." "You weren't. But the vault doesn't wait forever." Davy Jones shifted slightly, his gelatinous form tensing. Misty hovered near the ceiling, silent. The insectoid gestured. "We've already completed the systems test. The next chamber is locked. We need your AI." Blackbeard glanced at the portable console where Flint's interface flickered. "And what do we get?" "Access. Temporary alliance. minimal conflict. Blackbeard considered. The Black Drift weren't known for betrayal. They preferred efficiency, but they weren't known for generosity either. Fine, he said. We'll share the interface. You share the map. The insectoid nodded once. Agreed. They moved together into the next chamber. It was larger, octagonal, with a central terminal surrounded by dormant drones. The walls pulsed faintly, waiting. Flint connected to the terminal. The drones stirred. Authorization required, the system said. Blackbeard stepped forward. Captain Blackbeard. Pirate designation 7-Delta. The terminal paused. Authorization accepted. Begin Phase 2. The floor shifted again. Not a trap. A transition. The vault was welcoming the visitors. Chapter 5. Shared Access. The second chamber was colder than the first, not in temperature, but in design. The walls were smooth, metallic, and undecorated. No murals, no relics, just function. The kind of space built for containment, not ceremony. Blackbeard stepped in first. The Black Drift captain followed, flanked by two of his crew members, one silent, one scanning. Misty hovered near the ceiling, Thorn kept to the rear, and Davy Jones positioned himself between the factions, watching both. The central console pulsed once, then again. Phase 2. Cooperative access, the system said. 2 crews. 1 interface. Proceed. Blackbeard glanced at the Black Drift leader. You trust your crew? They follow orders. Good enough. The console split into 2 panels. Each required input, simultaneous, synchronized. One side displayed a navigation grid, the other a resource allocation matrix. Both were active, both were unstable. Thorn moved to the grid. I'll handle spatial logic. Davy Jones joined the matrix. I'll balance the resources. The Black Drift crew watched, silent. One of them stepped forward and offered a data key. Coordinates from our scan. Thorn accepted it without comment. The system began to shift. The grid flickered. The matrix rebalanced. A timer appeared, counting down from 5 minutes. Failure to synchronize will result in lockdown, the system said. Blackbeard didn't speak. He watched. Thorn adjusted the grid, aligning it with the vault's internal structure. Davy Jones redistributed energy cells, prioritizing stability over speed. The Black Drift crew monitored, occasionally offering corrections. No one raised a weapon. No one raised their voice. At the final second, the panels turned green. Access granted, the system said. Proceed. A door opened. Beyond it, a corridor stretched into low light and quiet hums. Blackbeard turned to the Black Drift captain. We proceed together. For now, the captain nodded. Until the next decision. They moved forward, side by side. The vault didn't care who led. Only that someone did. Chapter 6. Pressure Shift. The corridor narrowed again. The walls, once smooth, now pulsed with faint heat signatures. Flint's interface flickered. Environmental instability detected. Pressure fluctuation ahead. Blackbeard slowed his pace. Hazard level. Moderate. Containable. If no one panics. The Black Drift captain gestured to his crew. Masks on. Davy Jones adjusted his filtration membrane. Misty condensed slightly, her vapor form tightening. Thorn remained unchanged, his physiology indifferent to pressure shifts. They reached the threshold of the next chamber. A warning beacon blinked above the door. Amber light, steady rhythm. Not urgent, just inconvenient. Inside, the chamber was wide and low, with a sloped floor and a central vent system. The air was dense, tinged with metallic dust. A control panel sat embedded in the far wall, half-lit and humming. Pressure equalization required, Flint said. Manual override only. Blackbeard turned to the Black Drift captain. Your crew triggered this. We opened the door. That's all. Davy Jones moved to the panel. It's a two-person system. One stabilizes intake. One regulates exhaust. Blackbeard nodded. I'll take intake. The Black Drift captain stepped forward. I'll handle exhaust. They worked in silence. The panel responded slowly, as if reluctant. Flint monitored the readings, offering occasional corrections. Misty hovered near the ceiling, watching for signs of stress. Thorne scanned the chamber's structure, noting weak points. The pressure began to shift, gradually, then sharply. A vent hissed. The floor vibrated. Hold steady, Flint said. Blackbeard adjusted his grip. The panel resisted. The Black Drift captain muttered something in his native dialect, short, clipped, not quite a curse. Then the system clicked. The lights steadied. The air thinned. Equalization complete, Flint said. Proceed. Blackbeard stepped back. The Black Drift captain did the same. Neither spoke. The crew moved forward, past the vent system and into the next corridor. The Alliance held. Barely. No one mentioned the tension. No one needed to. Chapter 7. Divergence. The corridor ended in silence. No doors, no panels. Just a wall, smooth, metallic, and unmarked. The crew stood before it, waiting for something to shift. Nothing did. Flint scanned the surface. No interface, no signal. Passive barrier. Blackbeard stepped forward, examining the wall. It's not locked. It's undecided. The Black Drift captain approached. Meaning? Meaning it's waiting for input. Not from machines, from us. Davy Jones moved closer, his gelatinous form rippling with quiet tension. There's a biometric trace. It's reading us. All of us. Thorne hovered near the ceiling, scanning. It's sorting. Not by rank, by worthiness. Misty drifted toward the far corner. It's choosing who gets through. The Black Drift crew shifted. One of them reached for a weapon. Blackbeard raised a hand. No need, he said. Not yet. The wall pulsed once, then split. Two paths revealed. One narrow, one wide. No labels, no instructions. Flint spoke. Two routes. One leads to the vault's core, the other to its archive. Both require a crew. Blackbeard turned to the Black Drift captain. You choose. The captain didn't hesitate. We take the core. Blackbeard nodded. We'll take the archive. No argument, no ceremony, just divergence. The crews split. Blackbeard's team entered the narrow corridor, low ceilings, tight angles, and the hum of dormant systems. The Black Drift disappeared into the wider path, their footsteps fading. Davy Jones glanced back. You trust them? No, Blackbeard said, but I trust the vault to be indifferent. They moved forward. The archive waited. Chapter 8. The Archive. The corridor narrowed, then opened into a chamber lined with data columns. Each tower pulsed faintly, stacked with crystalline drives and etched with serial codes from a dozen civilizations. The air was still. Not reverent, just quiet. Blackbeard stepped forward. Flint? The AI scanned. Archive integrity. Partial. Some files corrupted. Others locked. One active. Davy Jones moved to the nearest column. It's a logistics vault. Not treasure. Not history. Just records. Thorne hovered near a damaged drive. Movement logs. Supply manifests. Crew rotations. Misty drifted toward the active terminal. This one's still warm. Flint joined her. The screen flickered, then stabilized. A list appeared. Coordinates, timestamps, cargo codes. One entry blinked. Last known location of Admiral Hook's vessel, Flint said. Unverified, marked as disputed. Blackbeard studied the coordinates. It's outside mapped space. Technically, Flint replied, it's inside a restricted corridor, abandoned after a containment breach. Davy Jones frowned. That's not a place. That's a warning. Blackbeard copied the data. We'll decide later. Thorne tapped another column. There's a secondary log. Mentions the Black Drift. Blackbeard turned. How recent? 2 cycles ago. They accessed this archive, took a different set of coordinates. Misty's vapor shifted. They're chasing something else. Blackbeard nodded. Let them. He turned to the crew. We've got what we need. Let's move. They exited the archive without ceremony. No alarms, no revelations. Just data. Outside, the corridor was unchanged. The vault waited. Chapter 9. Deliberation. They returned to the corridor in silence. The archive had given them data, coordinates, logs, fragments of movement. Not answers, just direction. Blackbeard held the copied file in his hand, the drive humming faintly. Flint spoke first. Coordinates verified. The location is real, unmapped but accessible. Davy Jones adjusted his form, settling into a more compact shape. It's a containment zone, abandoned, no active traffic. Thorne hovered near the wall, scanning for residual signals. No patrols, no surveillance, just static. Misty drifted closer, which means no help if it goes wrong. Blackbeard didn't respond immediately. He studied the corridor ahead, dim, quiet, indifferent. The vault had given them a choice, not a command. We return to the ship, he said. Review the data. Decide from there. No one objected. They moved through the vault's final corridor, passing dormant panels and sealed doors. The air grew thinner, less charged. The vault was finished with them. At the exit, the Long John Silver waited, its hull dimly lit, its systems idle. The Black Drift crew was gone. No sign of conflict, no sign of trust. Blackbeard boarded first. Flint reconnected to the main console. The ship stirred. Plot a course to the containment zone, Blackbeard said, but hold position. I want full scans before we commit. Davy Jones nodded. Understood. Thorne returned to his station. Misty hovered near the viewport, watching the stars shift. Blackbeard sat in silence. The vault hadn't tested their strength. It had tested their restraint. And the next move was theirs. Chapter 10. The Vault Beneath. The coordinates led them to a quiet sector. No patrols, no signals. Just a drifting field of debris and a single structure, half buried in the gravitational shadow of a collapsed moon. The Long John Silver approached slowly, its engines humming low. Flint scanned the site. Structure is stable. No active defenses. Entry possible. Blackbeard nodded. Take us in. They docked at a side hatch, its surface marked with faded insignias and a numeric code older than any of them. Inside, the corridors were intact, dusty, silent but untouched. No signs of looting, no signs of decay. Davy Jones moved ahead, scanning. This place was sealed deliberately, not abandoned, preserved. Thorne hovered near the walls, noting the absence of corrosion. Atmosphere is regulated, systems dormant, not dead. Misty drifted toward a central chamber. Something's waiting. They reached the vault room without resistance. The door opened at Blackbeard's touch. Inside, the chamber was wide, circular, and dimly lit. At its center stood a pedestal, simple, unadorned. Upon it, a container hovered. Not ornate, not locked, just waiting. Blackbeard approached. The container opened. Inside, data drives, sealed capsules, and a single crystalline core pulsing with quiet energy. Flint scanned. This is a prototype archive. Pre-collapse contains full schematics for quantum relay systems, unregistered star routes, and a complete ledger of pre-war trade networks. Davy Jones blinked. That's not treasure. That's infrastructure. Thorne added. It's everything. Routes, resources, leverage, enough to rebuild a fleet, or dismantle one. Misty hovered silently. It's not gold. It's more valuable. Blackbeard stared at the core, and it's untouched. They stood in silence. The treasure wasn't wealth. It was access, knowledge, power, and it was all theirs. Chapter 11. The Weight of It. The crystalline core sat in the center of the command table. Its pulse was steady, faintly rhythmic, like a heartbeat slowed by time. Around it, the crew stood silent. No one reached for it. No one spoke first. Flint broke the silence. Data integrity confirmed. The archive contains full schematics for quantum relay systems, unregistered star routes, and pre-collapse trade networks. Estimated value, incalculable, priceless. Davy Jones shifted. We could sell it. Quietly, piece by piece. Thorne hovered near the viewport. Or we could use it. Build something. Reclaim routes no one remembers. Misty drifted closer to the core. Or bury it. Let someone else find it. Let it stay a mystery. Blackbeard didn't respond. He watched the core, its glow reflected in the worn metal of the Long John Silver's hull. The ship had survived storms, raids, and curses. But this was different. This isn't loot, he said. It's leverage. Davy Jones nodded. And leverage draws attention. Thorne added, the Black Drift will come looking. Others too. Flint pulsed. Signal containment is holding. For now. Blackbeard turned to the crew. We don't decide here. Not yet. We move. Quietly. No transmissions, no trades. We find a place to think. Misty hovered near the ceiling. And if someone follows? Blackbeard looked at the core. Then we decide faster. The crew dispersed. The Long John Silver shifted course, away from mapped space toward a quiet sector known only in rumor. The core remained sealed, untouched. For now. Chapter 12. Departure. The containment zone faded behind them. The Long John Silver cruised through quiet space, its engines steady, its systems calm. The crystalline core remained sealed in the vault room, untouched but no longer unknown. Blackbeard sat at the helm, watching the stars shift. They weren't brighter, just clearer. Davy Jones reviewed the data logs. We've mapped 6 new routes, unregistered, stable, no patrols. Thorne hovered near the navigation console. We could invest, expand. Not a fleet, a network. Misty drifted past the viewport. Or we could disappear. Let the galaxy wonder. Blackbeard didn't answer immediately. He looked at the crew, misfits, outliers, survivors. They hadn't changed, but something had. We'll keep moving, he said, quietly. No flags, no claims. Flint pulsed. Destination? Blackbeard smiled faintly. Somewhere unimportant, somewhere quiet. The ship adjusted course. The stars shifted again. No one chased them, no one called. The Black Drift had vanished into their own pursuit. The vault was sealed. The treasure was theirs. Not for power, not for war, just for possibility. The crew settled into their stations. The Long John Silver sailed on, unmarked, unbothered, and free. And for the first time in a long while, the stars felt like home. Epilogue. Drift. The Long John Silver settled into orbit around a quiet moon. No name, no traffic, just silence and sky. Blackbeard stood at the viewport, watching the stars shift. They weren't brighter, just less distant. The crystalline core remained sealed in the vault room, untouched but understood. The crew had made no announcements, no claims, just a decision to keep moving, to stay small, to remain free. Davy Jones had begun cataloging the unregistered routes. Thorne was mapping quiet sectors. Misty drifted between decks, her vapor form lighter than before. Flint maintained silence unless spoken to. They weren't rich, they weren't famous, but they had something better. Time, space, and the freedom to choose. The galaxy spun on, indifferent, and the Long John Silver drifted through it. Not chasing, not fleeing, just sailing. Somewhere the black drift searched for something louder. Blackbeard didn't envy them. He turned from the stars and walked the length of the ship. The hull creaked, the lights dimmed, the crew rested, and the treasure remained where it belonged. For now, unspent, undisturbed, waiting. The end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.